Hello, whiskey freaks. Welcome to the Beastmasters Club podcast. Beastmasters Club is the first podcast that lets you buy rare whiskey from our website and sip along with us at home while we talk about it. I'm your host, Steve, the Smoky Beast Zeller. I'm here with Jake, the Whiskey Warrior Cahill, and my co-founder and partner in crime, Ben Paluba. And today we're going to talk about the top 5 limited release whiskeys of 2016 and find out what is hot and what is all hype. Stay tuned.
Beastmasters Club, experiencing the world's finest whiskey, one bottle at a time.
All right, so just a few little pieces of club business before we move into the meat of our podcast tonight. We're super excited to talk about our next event. We're going to be hosting Westland Whiskey at the Norwood Club here in New York. So probably our current, maybe favorite U.S. craft distiller and an amazing private club, sweet venue that we're super psyched about a new partnership
that'd be a fun combo.
Yeah.
Really like classic, like old school New York private gentleman's club. Not gentleman's club, like I should have said that better.
Men's club.
Men's club.
It's not a men's club. It's not a men's club.
It's not, but it's a really cool, like
it's
classic New York club.
Yes.
And like a really fun, innovative new American craft whiskey distillery.
Yeah, I mean, Westland just obviously got acquired for some undisclosed but likely rather large sum of money, so they're like super hot right now. And then cool. And doing it at the Norwood's awesome. I mean, we can hold more people. We're gonna have like a really classy. It's gonna be really classy, man.
Yeah,
really our members better show up like not looking like ragged savages.
And I think as of the time of this recording, we have maybe 10 seats left. So, scoop them up if you're listening.
Yeah, we just put it out like 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
So when's the next one? Friday,
January 27th.
Friday, January 27th.
Yeah, so we're going to be joined by Chris Reisbeck of Westland, and we're going to do a little education on what Westland does and taste through their line and maybe taste a few special Westlands and do our normal Beastmasters thing.
Chris is a super good guy and knows his shit for sure. He's been in the whiskey business for a while. So
that's January 27th at Norwood Club. You can buy tickets on beastmastersclub.com. Still a few left if you're out there and you hear this and you want to get in. We also have a pretty sweet event coming up February 8th at our friend David's place, Weeded
Brooklyn.
Yeah. And David's an awesome guy, and we're really excited to bring the Beastmasters tasting format to his spot. And we're going to be, I think, tasting through a bunch of weeded bourbons. Right?
I think we're gonna do a little education on bourbon mash bills. I think we're gonna do a high rye bourbon, a high corn bourbon, a couple of weeded bourbons, kind of taste our way through the different recipes of bourbon, and accompany with it with a nice little dinner, pizza. And
if you're really into good
stuff.
pizzas and good whiskey, I feel like that'd be a really fun night for you.
Sweet. He makes his own. My wife Dana's obsessed because he makes his own sriracha sauce. So,
cool.
Yeah,
pretty dope.
Well, how hip is she?
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, just want to see what you guys have been up to lately. Steve, Jake, tell the folks what you guys have been up to this week.
What's the Whiskey Warrior, American Ninja Warrior update?
Sore as hell. So officially submitted for American Ninja Warrior 9.
Nice.
So submissions went in early January, and I don't hear back. They give a pretty wide window. I think they say, we'll let you know between now and May.
The day of shooting. Or something like that.
So it's like even the cable company kind of laughs at that one. So I'm just kind of patiently waiting to hear back now. So I'll keep training up.
Sweet.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun to shoot and film, and it's a lot more whiskey centric this year, which will be really fun. And aside from that, just been kind of hanging out, hunkering down like everybody else, and enjoying some good whiskey on these cold days.
Nice. What's going on at Vanderbilt? You guys have anything special?
Oh, so Vanderbilt Wine Merchants, where I'm the spirits director at that great little wine shop. I was really excited because Kilkerran is this, it's the Glengyle distillery that is run by Campbelltown, by Springbank. And they've been putting out these work in progress releases for years, and I've been like kind of tasting along and seeing how it's coming. It's like amazing. And they've always said like, oh, we'll release a 12-year age dated. We'll release a 12-year age dated. They finally released it in the UK a few months back, and I've been pining over it and waiting for it. And last week it landed.
Sitting by the phone crying yourself to sleep every night. It's nice.
Every time I talk to my rep, I'm like, oh, that's great, man. How's the kids? Great. So did that Kilkerran 12 land yet or what?
So you got my shit, man? Hey, you got my shit?
So he does have my shit.
Nice.
He delivered that shit, and I don't have to talk to him anymore. It's great.
Did you try it yet? Did you crack one open?
It's amazing. Yeah,
Nice.
it's great. It's a combo of sherry and bourbon casks, because they've been releasing them side by side as bourbon cask and then sherry cask separate releases. It's fantastic. It's like $60 or so. So it's not. It's like a really great price for a 12-year Campbelltown malt.
Nice.
From like the most beautiful family down there ever. It's great. It's kind of a piece of history. So if you come and get the first bottles that are released here, you're sort of drinking along with modern Scotch history.
Sweet.
And it's tasty. So
Where's Vanderbilt again?
Vanderbilt Wine Merchants is on Vanderbilt Ave.
That would make sense.
It does.
What?
Makes sense. Yeah.
I can't.
On Vanderbilt
Inconceivable.
Ave in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn.
Nice.
Just in between Dean and Pacific.
All right. Ask for the Whiskey Warrior.
It's a very small shop. You won't have to ask. I'll know when you
I would like
walk
to see
in.
the Whiskey Warrior, please. He told me he has a piece of Scotch history for me.
And then I kick in the door. And
Yeah.
I've had to replace a lot of doors since I've been.
Since you've been?
Yeah. As soon as someone asks for the Whiskey Warrior, I have to kick the door in.
I'm jealous tonight because both Ben and Jake have meta shirts going on.
Yeah.
Jake has a combination of Direwolf and Iron Man.
Yeah, man.
The Stark.
The
Rob
Stark.
and
I'm
Tony
a big
Stark.
supporter of pretty much everyone with the last name Stark. Yeah.
House Stark, Tony Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stark and House Stark.
And Ben has Karate Kid and Play. It's like the
Karate
Karate
Kid
Kid
and Play.
doing the crane move, and opposite him is a dude with a giant flat top. A la Kid
I
and
think
Play.
it's Kid and Play doing the Karate Kid move.
Sure.
Right. So that's the
Yeah.
stupidity of my shirt. I saw this in a store. I think it was in Berkeley, and I was just like, must have.
Well, I got to get a meta shirt of my own. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm slumming it. I'm feeling a lot of t-shirt envy tonight.
That was my goal.
Yeah, we wanted
Yeah.
to shame you.
Yeah. We had one day above 50 degrees this whole winter, and our purpose was just to shame you with our T-shirts.
Nice. Well done. Bravo.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Steve, any other sweet whiskey adventures for you this week?
Oh, I had a fun whiskey week. I went and picked up a barrel of bourbon with our main man, Professor Rickhouse, Jeff Roth. And so we basically drove a distance to kind of an undisclosed location, loaded up the Honda CRV with an empty barrel. Empty barrels are still really heavy, and dozens of cases of booze. Drove back to my Manhattan apartment, and then I found a parking spot across the street, and I'm like, sweet, and I parked, and then realized I had to get the barrel across the street. So I had it on on 45-degree angle, and I'm rolling it, which is, if you know how to work with barrels, this is how you move a barrel.
That's how you do it.
And
But
and
you're
I'm
not really a barrel rolling pro.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sweet at the barrel rolling,
Oh.
but the pedestrians were kind of looking at me like, is he just rolling a barrel across the street?
Yeah, and as a New Yorker, so you're doing it when it says "don't walk."
Of course,
there's
of
no
course.
sign that says "don't roll."
I hear
your
it's
barrel.
a huge new
Yeah.
CrossFit thing. The barrel rolling.
Barrel roll.
And of course, I'm just looking up with a big smile, and I'm like, yep, it's a
Yeah.
barrel of whiskey.
Damn right
Deal
it
with it. Yep. And so now, in my Manhattan apartment, we have this tiny little outdoor space, which is now 90% occupied by a barrel of whiskey, which when the warmer weather strikes is not going to be that convenient, but it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much going to have to sleep on all of the cases of whiskey that we have in here. But it'll all be worth it.
That's
so,
great.
So that was
It's
fun.
a nice, I hear it's a nice sleep on a giant pile of
It's
whiskey.
firm. Yeah, it's firm. Yeah.
Firm, but it's like a dragon lying on its golden hoard.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
That's the
It's
way
this,
I'll think of you every
Scrooge
night.
swimming through, his
Scrooge
his
McDuck
vault.
diving in the vault of giant golden pool. All this bullion.
All right. Well,
Cool.
the obligatory podcast chit chat out of the way.
Yeah.
Tonight we have Beastmasters Club podcast numero nueve.
Numero nueve. Yes, this is the
Number
ninth.
nine.
Ninth
We're almost
edition
in
of
double
BMC.
digits. We're really
Yes,
maturing.
everybody,
Oh, yeah.
please press 1 on your computer screen for English if you prefer.
And I think with each podcast that we do, we gain the equal number of listeners as we have.
That's right. We're almost up to
episodes.
10 listeners.
Yeah.
Right. Sweet.
Again,
Hi,
it's-
Jake's
it's-
mom.
It's still my mom listening on 2 computers at
Hi.
once, so that's 2 viewers right there.
You think you mentioned that after we were talking about a lot of inappropriate stuff last
Yep.
time. So thanks, Jake's mom, and sorry.
Jake's mom has a great sense of humor. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
She
She's not a
does.
square.
No, if she has accepted me as a child of hers and proudly tells people, yeah, that's my kid,
That's sweet.
she's cool with a lot of shit.
Jakey's mom. Jakey's mom has got it going on, you know?
All right, let's move on.
Moving on.
All right.
Yeah,
so
so what's-
tonight,
what's our topic
We
tonight?
are going to do the top 5 limited, special, allocated, hard to find releases of 2016. And we are going to reveal through our extensive tasting prowess whether they are hype or the good shit.
Hype
worth
or
the hunt.
hotness.
Yeah.
Hype or worth the hunt. Hype or hot. I like that.
Hype
Yeah.
or
Hype or hot.
hotness. Yeah.
Bunker
There
or
we go.
bust? Yeah,
Bunker
is
or
it worth it or
bust.
not?
Exactly.
Yeah, if
basically.
if you catch your eye on one of these or have a chance to purchase it, we're gonna say like, is it worth your while or should you look for something else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these are, except well, the exception one, but basically very expensive, very hard to find. Even if you could find it, you're gonna pay a lot of money. You're gonna dig around for a long time looking for it. And so we're gonna taste them. We're gonna take one for Queen and Country and drink all this expensive whiskey and and tell you whether you need to go out and blow all your money on it or not.
God, this
Yeah.
is gonna be such a bad night.
Damn it!
But either way, these are 5 of what we thought were probably the most talked about releases of 2016. There's definitely other ones out there that were really big and definitely mentioned, but I think these are the 5 that we really thought showed a versatile spectrum and that we wanted to talk about.
And
So
by the
we-
way, we're not doing any of that Pappy or Buffalo Trace antiques. 'Cause
No, no,
fuck
no.
that shit.
yeah, well, that's released, that's,
And I
yeah.
couldn't get any.
Yeah, right.
It's all very lovely, but we ain't got none.
Yeah, and you guys can't get any, and it's $1,000 a bottle now. So
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
other shit.
Yeah.
Right. Other better stuff. No, just other stuff.
Just
just
But
other stuff.
there is a weeder in the lineup tonight.
there is.
All right. So like without any further ado,
Let's get into whiskey.
let's
number
dive
one.
let's get into the first one.
Let's
what
do
do we
it.
got here? What's number 1, Dr.
Number
Z?
1 is the Old Forester Birthday Bourbon.
Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. I'm not gonna lie, this is one that I always look for every year. Mm-hmm. I love this. It's the most annoying bottle that I've ever owned, but it looks great.
Annoying from a shape perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you wanna put it on
a
your shelf, but it just doesn't fit
it
anywhere
takes
else.
the room of 3
Really
other
hard
whiskey
to pour.
bottles.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the
Hard to
hardest
pour.
bottle to
Yeah.
pour on earth.
But super cool. Yeah. It's just, I mean, for all its shortcomings and practicality, makes up for it in style points. For
Totally.
sure.
Is it supposed to be looking kind of like a pot still or something? Is that the
No.
style?
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
No?
I don't think
Yeah.
It's not an
It's a little
apothecary
something
bottle.
like
It's got that pot still shape.
Yeah. Definitely stands out, catches the eye, but it's a wacky bottle.
Yeah.
So this is an annual release. Every year it comes out. It's always 12 years.
Do you
it's
know?
always
Do you know what date every year and why?
well. It's the birthday of
George
Of-
Garvin Brown.
Brown.
I think it's George Garvin Brown. He's one of the founders of Brown Foreman.
Brown Foreman,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
September 2nd, every year. September 2nd, that was his birthday.
Okay.
Virgo Power. There you go.
Yeah.
That was probably the cheesiest thing I've ever said on the podcast.
I have
before.
my dad and my brother are both Virgos, but I'm on the Leo side of that fence.
Yeah, well, you suck. So just like the quick technical, like some like fun specs about this for all of you that don't know Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Old Forester is awesome. They're a great producer. Brown Foreman has been around forever. So like we said, they release this every year on September 2nd. They've been doing it since 2002. So this is the largest release they've ever done with the most amount of bottles produced. So for this now we're talking limited release things here, right? How many barrels do you think get rolled out for this limited release?
how many barrels?
Yeah.
I think it's in the thousands of bottles, right?
It's in the thousands of bottles.
It's 100 barrels.
93
Okay.
this year. That was cool. They let out a good amount of information here. So yeah, 93 barrels that ended up. Now they proof down. So because this is, I think, 97 proof. I don't know, I got the bottle.
Yes.
All right. So we got 97
Oh, no.
proof.
I can't
90
even read this thing.
He can't read.
They make it pretty hard. The
Ben
neck tag too.
yeah,
I'm trying to read, and
we're
it's
gonna
tiny.
We're gonna get Ben some reading
tiny.
lessons after this.
Print is just
yes, it is-
minuscule
it is
on the bottle.
97 proof.
97,
All
right.
right, 97. That's what I thought.
So they got 14,400 bottles roughly out of this.
14,000.
Yeah, because they proofed that down.
Right. Okay.
So that's really fun about this year. So it's
Is it also distilled on his birthday? I want to say that that's the case.
I don't
They
think
distill
so.
it
And then they
and
release the
bottle
next-
it 12 years apart on his
I don't know.
birthday. No, maybe.
That I don't know about.
Thought that was the case.
That could be pretty interesting.
I just know it's kind of like a different cepage or like a different like blending of barrels every year. So like the barrels come from a different location every year. I think this year all the barrels came from the 5th floor of Warehouse K. And this is an actual
That's
direct.
deep. That's deep.
Yeah,
That's some fucking cepage right there.
that is cepage.
yeah.
Sorry. Every now and again, my wine talk comes out.
I love that
So,
shit.
so they select different areas of the rick house where they're going to pull from
Yeah.
every year, so they get a little bit of a different take on
Yeah.
how things may have aged or whatever's going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Interesting.
What was really, really great this year, and I think very helpful to us, was that they during their press release for this year, there was a quote that got in and said, and the 5th floor of Warehouse K, which faces westward, and there was a window there, so that all the barrels got sun
Setting
kissed.
sun.
Setting sun.
Yeah.
This is
Is that why it's got an
sun-kissed.
orange label on it?
I don't know. I just think
Well, every
that's
year they
little
do a different
ridiculous
color.
romantic bullshit. Yeah, I know. But I just thought it was really fun that they felt the need to mention that because like it's not wine facing southward slopes or anything like. There's a little extra sunlight on it. That's great.
Hey.
There's tons of vitamin D in this bourbon. That's amazing.
As the sun goes down.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Let's check it out.
yeah, man.
So the
Oh,
old Forester Birthday Bourbon.
2016. Let's get into it. I got that nice fruit on the nose. That like kind of like dark cherry.
That's sort of an Old Forester thing. I feel like they have that sweet nose, that nice like cherry chocolate
Yeah.
kind of thing going
Yeah,
on.
definitely chocolatey.
All right, I'm just gonna come straight out and say this is not worth the shit right now.
This is not worth.
No, it's not a
You're saying that
$200 whiskey immediately.
This no.
No,
time out.
absolutely
This
not.
is an $80 bottle.
But not anymore.
No,
But that's the thing.
MSRP is $80. Like that's what you can buy it at a retail store if you can find
Where?
it.
No,
Disclaimer.
but
Where,
you cannot buy it at a retail store.
I know. I'm
So
just
look,
saying it's an
but-
$80 whiskey.
But that's what I'm saying about Old Forester. I used to like birthday bourbon because, and this isn't just saying like, oh, you used to be able to buy Pappy and used to be able to buy this and that. Like even 2 years ago, this was not some crazy allocated hard to find thing. Like you'd go to like Essex Street and go down to a whiskey bar and like and you could just drink glasses of this all day long if you wanted to, and it wasn't and it used to be MSRP even used to be $40 a couple years ago.
True.
And I understand some stuff that's getting allocated, and all the big cask strength, bold, rich, Pappy and BTAC, and all this age stuff, these 20-year bourbons. But this, okay. I mean, look, if it was $70, I mean maybe, but this is just not a $200 bottle by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, I agree that it's not a $200 bottle, but like then you get into the whole discussion of value. Like, what's worth $200? Do you like it?
Well, it's I don't know. I don't know. Like honestly, what's making this $200 is market forces, right? It's a pure supply and demand thing. The market is hot right now for this stuff. So all the special collectible limited stuff, the price has skyrocketed astronomically. And just like you can't get William LaRue Weller, like we were saying, for less than $1,000 or whatever now,
Whatever it is.
you can't get this for a reasonable price. So if you look around, the increases are kind of similar percentage wise. Like a $300 bottle is now $1,000. Like a $40 bottle is now $200. Which honestly, to me, it's like for a certain level of craft, if you want to talk about the really, really excellent stuff, like Steve was saying, like, okay, maybe that's worth it for you if you just want the best. But like for something like this, it's kind of crazy to overpay for, in my opinion.
Sure. I know,
Because you can find better stuff than this. Just because this is a limited release, you can find a better drink for a much better price. That's just kind of my like. It's not that special.
if you're
Hype.
talking about $200.
It's all hype, baby. See, I used to love Birthday Bourbon. It was like one of the first
on.
whiskeys. I used to buy it every year, and I drink one. I put one on the shelf, and I took up way too much space, and I had all the cute little different colors. Every year would be a different color.
Yeah, it's a great collectible.
It was really fun. And then like I got to a certain point, and I was like, I just don't have room for all these super wide bottles anymore. And I was like, should I try and sell the whole collection? And I was like, no, fuck it. I just popped them all open on my birthday one year, and I had like 10 years worth open.
Yeah.
And like we drank through all of them, and it was fun. They were all a little different. Some of them were like woodier, and some of them are richer, and this and that. I thought the 2013 was far and away the best of the whole bunch, but it was always kind of just a fun thing. It just shouldn't be in the class of stuff that you go crazy and hunt for, and like I just don't see it there.
I don't think it is. I think
it
this
is now.
I mean, that's because there's people out there that will search for anything that other people that haven't been in it as long say, like, oh, go for this, it's limited or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to find out if you like the whiskey, if like do you think it's good? Like,
I think
what
it's
do you
okay.
enjoy about it? What do you not enjoy about it? Like,
I mean,
no, curious because some
I
people
think
out
it's
here,
tasty.
some people out here already
It's
have
nice.
paid $200 and they're like, okay, well,
but legitimately, it's tasty. It's a good drink. Like I'm not saying it's garbage and I wouldn't drink it or
Right.
anything like that. It's not. I don't think that's what Steve's saying either. I mean, definitely for me, that's not where I stand. I like it. Like I'm not going to go chase it around for an exorbitant price. That's just like I do think in that respect it's more hype. Like, yeah, it's good. It's very good. I actually enjoy it, and like I would
smooth.
enjoy it.
For almost 100%. It's pretty smooth. It's got a little sweetness. It's got a little wood to it.
Well, so-
I'm just saying, if you have a bottle sitting at home that is sealed, sell it.
oh man.
Yeah, because you could get 2 or 3 of something else that you like, and it's probably better.
Or open it and see if you like it, because that's why you buy fucking whiskey. To drink
That's
it.
why they're listening to this, so they don't have to open it and see if they like it.
See, I
they
think
can
it's
just
too,
sell
like-
it and buy several bottles of something else.
And this is why usually segments where we team up together are called Smoky Beast versus Whiskey Warrior. And this is great. No, but honestly, I think it's a very good whiskey. I think, talking about the whiskey, it's got some age on it, almost a little bit too much. It's actually a little bit more barrel driven than you would expect. I like Old Forester stuff when it's a little bit younger. So I would say this bourbon is great. If you have someone that has a birthday and you love them, get this as a gift for them. It's a great novelty. Like, it's birthday bourbon.
Sure.
Get it for someone's birthday. It is tasty. If you have one, open it. If you don't like something that is a little bit lighter and has nice fruit and a little bit more wood tannins to it, don't open it. Sell it and get something else. That's fine. What we should talk about is that Old Forester. This is real quick, just side note.
Yeah.
Old Forester also has their Whiskey Row series that they've been releasing for the last couple of years. And we don't have it on the table tonight, but they released their Whiskey Row series 1920 Prohibition style.
Yeah.
And that blew this shit out of the water this year.
Wow.
I have one of those at home. It is tasty. It is delicious.
But
Thanks
instead,
for
you
bringing us
brought
a little,
this.
Yeah.
I did. Because that's at home and I love it and I don't want to share it with any of you.
Nice.
No, and that is $60. And like, that's not on a limited enough scale where they're hoarding.
You
where
could
people
get
do.
rid of your birthday bourbon and
buy
buy
3
4
of
of those. Yeah.
Or you could get both and compare and see which one you like, so you know what you like better for the future.
All right, I see how it is.
Moving on.
Okay, so this next one, like, we're going to do the Rebel Yell 10-year single barrel. And now this one is totally different because, I mean, it's not a super difficult to find allocated limited release
I
type
mean,
of thing.
it wasn't released widely. Like, it was only
right.
released in a handful of states. So it's one of those things that it's limited on availability, not because there was not a lot produced, but just because it didn't hit a lot of states.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was
that's
about $50.
Yeah.
10-year single barrel. What is it? It's bottled in bond, right? Or it's something around 100 proof.
100
yeah.
proof.
It's 100 proof.
I don't know
It's
if it's
not bottled
bottled,
bond.
not bottled
Yeah.
bond, but it's 100 proof.
But this is the first. This is the first addition to the Rebel Yell line. I mean, Jesus, since the 40s, maybe.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Do we know if this is going to become a thing for them?
I don't know for sure. I've done a little bit of digging. I've done a little bit of emailing. From what I understand, I think they're kind of waiting to hear back, like, public opinion, see if they liked it or not. And I think it's been getting pretty good public opinion for the most part.
I'm a fan.
I would expect to see this around more often, but probably not in large quantities.
Right.
I mean, who's distilling this for them? It's Heaven Hill, right? So Heaven Hill has their own, brands to worry about that aren't owned by Luxco.
So this is their recipe done by Heaven Hill.
Yeah. So
This is weeded, right? It's a weeded.
It is a weeded.
Yeah.
So this is the weeder that we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
So it's a weeded bourbon. Rebel Yell actually has a really cool history. It was a recipe that was created back in the 1940s to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Stitzelweller distillery. So it was like a separate weeded
I see.
than their other stuff they were releasing at the time. It was originally produced only to be distributed in the, quote, Deep South.
Thus the name
Rebel Yell, which by the way is not a very manly yell. I've like Wikipedia'd Rebel
No, it
Yell.
isn't. It's
and
like what it
once you get
sounds
past the Billy Idol signs,
or
it's like
something
it's just this like
Right.
high pitch, like it was supposed to sound like a dying raccoon. So,
Right.
so maybe that's I don't know.
Well, thanks for filling us in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back up from
yeah.
the mic next time you're going to do the Rebel Yell.
Sorry about
easy
that.
there. I think people's eardrums just got shattered.
I apologize.
How dare you? How dare you?
But thanks to Billy Idol, that kind of all changed in the 80s. And no, he literally wrote that song about this whiskey because he and Keith Richards were getting plastered.
Is that right?
But yeah. So anyway, yeah. So in 1992, when Stitzelweller shut down, this their brands got sold off. This brand got sold off to Luxco. So it was essentially sold off as bottom shelf crap that was sold by jerks. That's just my opinion. But now, for the first time since '92, they've started to release this. So this is 10-year single barrel, same release. So obviously, we're looking at a little bit of variation between each barrel. So like maybe our bottle is different than the bottle you might
Possible.
have at home. But if
For the
they were-
record, this is barrel 424411165. So
Quite a few barrels. Not that limited
right?
at all.
I can't even tell if it's 4744165. It's all written. It's written very small. In any case,
It don't matter.
go hunting for
Yeah, go look for some Rebel Yell.
Well, maybe let's taste it and see if we
So
like
Ben,
it.
what do you think of this one?
I'm a fan. I really like it. I liked it from the get-go. I don't know. It was a few months ago. You kind of told me to give me a heads up that this was around, and went out and I got some, and I've been very pleased. I think for the price, it's outstanding.
Totally.
I mean, just can't go wrong spending the $50.
I totally agree. It's
got
punchy. It's got some age on it. It's rich.
Nice and
It's a
smooth.
perfect proof for this stuff.
It's got
like
this
right
kind
where
of
it needs
cool
to be.
herbal
Yep.
thing going on. I do have to admit, like whether you like it or not, I think if you try this, you'll have to admit like it is unique tasting. It's got this kind of I don't want to say medicinal,
No,
but
it's
it's
right.
like it's like herbal. It's
Yeah.
almost like oregano-y type thing going on.
It has a bit of that sort of Underbergy, like Fernet, something like an herbal.
Fernet. Were you just saying Fernet in a fancy way?
Is it Fernet?
It's Fernet.
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 Okay.
It's a T. This is
Fernet
America.
Branca?
And we pronounce T's.
Okay. Well, Fernet. Whatever.
Sorry,
However you
that
want to
was
go,
like-
but it has sort of that herbal.
You just corrected your pronunciation.
Herbal digestif-y kind of something going on in there. That's all I'm talking about.
It's digestif. I'm just
Holy
kidding.
shit! It's really come to that.
I'm
I should
kidding.
take you to meetings with me.
I know. I'm
Even
sorry.
better.
I sound like fucking Hermione now. I apologize.
No, we need somebody to keep us honest here.
It's obleus, not oblate. Yeah, whatever.
Wow, you guys got Harry Potter deep.
I love
Leviosa.
Hermione.
Of course you do.
So
I'd let her play with my wand, but I think I might get Hogwarts.
Oh, that's a dad joke extraordinaire.
That's the most pervy dad joke I've ever heard. That was amazing. Have you ever heard that anywhere? Or is that
I think I made that up.
that was great, dude? Can we high five loud enough for the microphones to pick it up? I love
Boom.
it. That was
That's
great.
a solid line there.
That was really good.
Again, back to the Rebel Yell. I'm a fan. I think can't go wrong if you can find it.
Totally. I like it better than the Forester.
Yeah.
And
To me, it's a
again, you
better
could buy
drink.
4 of them. So do
Yeah.
that.
It's higher proof. It drinks a lot more well balanced. Mm-hmm. Like the alcohol is a little bit.
It's
better
minimally
integrated.
higher proof. I mean,
3
we're
more
talking about
proofs.
3 clicks. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. I like it. It's good. I think it's great. I think it's great. There's something here that's $50 and will cost you $50.
Absolutely. And really, for a weeded bourbon for this price, again, single barrel, you're not going to find.
Yeah, what other
You're not going to
10-year
really
weeded
find
bourbons
better.
are out there right now? I mean, like if you can
Yeah.
find,
Van
WOL
Winkle.
or 12, like,
And,
but
right.
that's like on a hiatus right now. Who knows where that is? And it's going to come back with that horrible bottle design.
Right.
And then you have what Old Rip 10, which like does cost $50, but no one sells it for that.
No, 150.
If you can
If
even
if
find
that.
it.
Yeah.
So
No, this is great. I bought a bottle of this and put it in my decanter, you know.
Cool.
And
Right.
it's just a great. You can drink it every day or at breakfast or whatever.
It's good with eggs.
Yeah.
it is
Sweet.
cool. Yeah, I think we all agree on that one.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we have to move on. Something obviously very sad happened this week, and Parker Bean passed away.
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
we lost a big whiskey hero. I never got the chance to meet him, but he was supposed to be a great guy. But our third whiskey here is this is something that I've been like obsessing over since I heard that it was coming out
me
about
too.
a year ago. The Parker's Heritage 24 year bottled in bond bourbon. So
A big banger.
oh yeah. This is what, a $600 bottle or something like that, if you can find it.
Are you asking me what the MSRP is, or are you asking me what the market's going?
Why don't
What's
you give us
MSRP?
both, Jake?
Yeah.
MSRP is
so
like $250.
the MSRP on this is $250, which is really cool, by the way, because I'm sure everyone knows this, and if you don't, a small portion of every bottle purchase of Parker's Heritage goes towards ALS
Right.
research or goes towards caring for a patient that is already suffering from ALS, which is what Parker Beam was fighting for the last 5 years of his life, unfortunately. So $15 per bottle go towards that.
Nice. Yeah.
So this MSRP is $250, but the secondary market is very easily doubling that right now. This is old Heaven Hill distillate. Now this is 24. This is 24 years old. So we're talking about
like that.
pre-fire Heaven Hill. We're talking
Right.
about DSP KY31. All right, now that's really cool. So for all you who don't know, Heaven Hill Distillery went through a huge, devastating fire in 1996 that took out multiple buildings, including 7 rick houses.
Yeah, you
And
got to
that's a
Google the
lot.
pictures of it. It's nuts.
It's nuts.
Right.
There's
That's
there's a video of
lot of liquor
helicopter
on
footage.
fire.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So during that time, that was great. So this is actually kind of cool. This is almost like tasting a little bit of history. What's really cool about this 24-year bottled in bond, it's fucking 24-year bottled in bond.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any other bottled in bond that's been more than like
No.
10 years?
I can't even think of
Not
one.
really done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if you're a big fan of McKenna, like I am,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's basically 24-year-old Henry McKenna. Like I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So what was really cool, there's essentially two releases of this whiskey. There is a release that was produced in the fall of 1990 and a release that was produced in the spring of 1991. Because
Okay.
bottled in bond has a lot
Sure.
of stipulations and it's one single harvest. So we have fall of 1990 on our shelves. So if you don't have fall, you have spring. Chances are they'll be similar, but they
Similar,
could be a
but
little
slightly
different.
different.
Yeah, and you should definitely get both. So there you go.
Yeah. Well,
So just to define, bottled in bond means it has to be 100 proof, right? It has to be at least 4 years old.
At least. And if it's not,
It has to
signified.
be. It has to be, produced in the same season, and all the barrels going into the batch have to be from the same distiller and the same season.
Yep.
single harvest.
And it has to reveal the distillery on the bottle.
It has to.
Those are the
Yeah,
rules
by law.
for
It's
bottled
legally
in bond.
protected, and it has to be
Right.
aged in a federally bonded warehouse.
Right.
Yeah, this was really cool. This was introduced in, I can never remember if it's 1897 or 1893. I think it's 1897, Bottled in Bond Act. That was to protect the people, so
Protect
that
the
like
quality.
they knew what they were
Yeah.
exactly. Similar to like AOC
So you
laws or
weren't
whatever.
getting
So
rot gut garbage.
yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of cool history, a lot of cool facts, a lot of cool, things revolve around this bottle. But is it good? Let's taste it and find out.
I also want to say on the bottle and bond thing, the current reigning bottle and bond champion, Bernie Lovers, we got to get on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we are
Who?
Bernie from Heaven Hill. And
Right.
And we
Yeah.
are we're working on getting a barrel
in
of
the
Heaven
works.
Hill. It's in the works. And so
Elijah Craig.
shout out to Bernie. We got to get him on here. And he's got this amazing like bottled and bond tattoo.
Yeah, that's
it's
really
like
cool.
he's sick about it. It's great. And he's a great guy. So he's already committed to being on here as far as I'm concerned.
Oh well, Bernie, if I got the year wrong, don't bitch smack me if I ever meet you.
Okay, so
Let's get
if
into
you've
it.
had old whiskeys, like some of the old Willet bourbons, some of the,
Shit. Sorry.
yeah.
That was my first time tasting that.
Oh.
I apologize. Continue.
Johnny Drum 15, like Doug's and Willie's, Private Barrel Willets, some of the older distillate stuff, not necessarily the oldest aged, but the older distillate stuff. And you let it sit in the glass for 15 minutes as we have. It has this funky, weird nose.
Rubber cement.
Is that what you get? Rubber cement?
It has a rubber cement, definitely like a Duco rubber cement, like modeling glue thing going on, which is it's awesome. It's kind of cool. Like
it's cool. Yeah.
I don't know. It's got that more like wood fermented smell to it. It's a little bit more earthy, but still has that beautiful.
But it has a weird chemically. Some like a nose to it that I find.
I don't know. I don't pick up on the.
For me,
I don't
it's like
pick
a
up on the
little
cement.
skunky kind of buddy kind of thing.
See, I think it's more earthy. I think Steve's onto
a little bit.
It has that too, but it has this like in the back of it is like a kind of.
And also, if you try any really old whiskey,
I think you just need to get a new manicure.
If you try like Prohibition era whiskey or like really old stuff, it definitely has this same character to it. It's this kind of musty, kind of like
almost hoppy.
Yeah, a little bit.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
it does taste older, and I don't mean older age wise. I mean older like distillate wise. Like it tastes like it was distilled 50 years ago.
Well, I mean, just
the color is beautiful.
And this is an incredible whiskey. You're just I don't know. To me, this is sort of like what you dream about when you're talking about aged whiskey and aged bourbon.
I love it because the proof too. I know everyone goes crazy for
cast strength,
older proof cast strength, but like my favorite Willets were always the Benali, like the lower ones, the lower proof ones that those 24-year ryes that they proof down.
The 94 proof ones.
Yeah, I just thought
that is good.
I just thought the flavors, because like there was no alcohol to distract. That like you just got this concentrational punch,
zero
of flavor.
burn,
yeah, and that's what this kind of reminds me of. I'm not comparing it to that, but I'm saying that like you can concentrate more on the flavors.
Yes,
like the alcohol doesn't distract from the flavors. The proofing down is more of a complement. It helps bring the flavors out a bit more. I'd be curious to see what this tastes like at cast strength, to be honest. But I think this is where it wanted to be. I think this is really beautiful.
They did a great job.
It's a very special whiskey for sure.
And it's not overwooded at all.
It's not quite as, it's very complex, and there's a lot of different flavors going on. It's not quite as rich as some of those Parkers, like the 27 year, which is, a shade darker, and it's just got all that vanilla and stuff.
Still
this
a
is
beautiful color.
Yeah.
Beautiful caramel, deep caramel color.
But this one is, if you can try it, I mean, it's a special thing, and it's a special year to be drinking Parkers, and it's a nice whiskey. I'd say it's hot.
It's
The
definitely
longer it
not
stays in the
hype.
glass, the more of that funkiness you get. And it's kind of enjoyable, but it's a particular thing.
And it's absolutely not hype. There's no hype about this. You'll have a hell of a time trying to acquire some.
Yeah.
But if you can, and you have the bucks, and whatever, you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Cheers,
Parker.
guys.
Cheers.
Parker, thank you very much for everything you did, man. We appreciate it.
I'm excited for our next.
God, it's got this peanut brittle
next
smell. Sorry,
dram.
I'll put this down and go on to the next one.
No, it's okay.
Do we have to move on? Can we just keep
We can
drinking?
keep
this?
drinking it. Do another round.
Yeah, well, we will certainly. But for those sitting at home, like jealous and angry at us for sipping the Parker's 24 as they listen, we can move. We can move ahead.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as a vicarious enjoyment.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on.
All right. Well, next up,
I'm excited for our next whiskey.
I'm excited too. Have you guys all had a chance to try this?
I
I
have
don't know
tried
if
it.
I've had this year's.
So this before we start putting the cart before the horse, this is the 2016 Four Roses limited edition small batch.
Woohoo! This is the first batch that Brent has done on his own. Brent Elliott. He has allegedly assisted Jim Rutledge over the last few years in the selection of the barrels for the small batch limited editions, which must have been really interesting because they both come from extremely different backgrounds. So this has been a big year for Brent.
Yeah.
Brent had his first single barrel release, which there wasn't even a single barrel release in 2015. So
They
it
did
was,
the icons, I think, instead, right?
Yeah. So it was very heavily anticipated this year. And we can talk about that whiskey another time, but that's been out there and his face is on it and everything. So, I mean, talk about flattering and pressure. Oh, by the way, your portrait is going to be on this whiskey. So
When Ben's face is on whiskey, that's when I quit drinking whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to look at me while you get wasted.
No, you don't. Yeah. That's why I sit facing away from you during these podcasts.
Steve doesn't like to look at me either. It's okay. Look away, avert your eyes.
So those familiar with Four Roses will know that this is an amazing thing they do every year, and we thank them for keeping this up every year with the limited edition small batch.
It's a fun thing, but it has reached the hype levels of like a Pappy Van Winkle or something. These LE small batches are pretty much impossible to find at this point.
Yes, but also no, because here's the cool thing about Four
Interesting
Roses.
point.
They also, I was a history major. There's also that's the biggest answer. Yes, but no. You can get them at the gift shop.
At the gift shop, right.
So none of these are available at the gift shop except for the Four Roses. So if you're dedicated, get your ass up off the couch, drive down to Kentucky and go buy one. Or you can wait to buy one on the internet for 2 times that amount of price a week later before anyone even finds out if it's good or not. But I say go down, enjoy the Four Roses experience, and appreciate and thank them for still being one of the distilleries that releases one of the most sought-after releases at the gift shop.
It's true. And the Four Roses, the whole tour and gift shop is pretty awesome.
It's great.
It's a beautiful. It's random. It's this very kind of Spanish villa-style architecture right in the middle there in Kentucky. You just roll up, you're kind of like, what?
Yeah.
And it's really cool and still small enough to be really intimate feeling and interesting. And the the tour and tasting is really fun. And you can get cozy with the good folks in the gift shop and call in and get your buddy to go down and pick one up for you. And,
chances are Al Young will be floating around, just kind of doing his thing because his offices are on site. Sorry, Al, I didn't mean to tell everybody that.
Blowing people's spot up.
But he might be walking around, and if he is, he loves talking about bourbon history and the history of Four Roses and blah blah. So all right.
We know the vintages.
Yeah. So they changed the
not vintages, but ages.
They changed the cepage. So they changed the blending.
What the fuck does cepage mean?
It just means the blend, like the cuvee, what goes into
just say
it to
blend.
make it. No, because
not
then
if
people
you're
think
trying to be
blended
an
whiskey,
asshole.
and then they're like, blended whiskey. So the barrels and the different ages and the different recipes that go into this.
While you were applying your hair gel this morning in the mirror,
it's coconut oil, dude.
You just parted it over to the side and said, winked at the mirror and said, cepage. What Jake's word of the day is cepage.
It was on his word of the day toilet paper this morning.
He has like a douchey sommelier word of the day toilet paper.
I do.
Terroir.
Yeah. They're actually
cepage.
They're actually baby wipes. I like to stay clean.
Cepage.
I'll show you a cepage.
So anyway, the fucking blend in this.
Right, so let's get back to it.
All right, so this year's 2016 limited edition was a blend of 3 different mash bills.
You mean a cepage?
The first part of the cepage was a 12-year OESO, which is what Brent calls the anchor of the blend. Mm-hmm. So that's like the meat of it. Yeah, 12-year OESO, a 12-year OBSV, and a 16-year OESK, which they were really going heavy on the older OESKs
a lot of
this year.
High corn stuff this year, yeah. Maybe Brent is a high corn fan. I think his single barrel was high corn too.
His single barrel was a high corn. It was an OESK actually. So that made its way into the single barrel releases and the small batch this year. I think they probably just had a shitload of it laying around, and they were like, we got to use this stuff.
Right.
But I could be wrong. So this is a little cool random fact. This is the first time in 8 years that the OESO recipe is making its return to the small batch limited edition. So welcome back, OESO, which, by the way, always has a spot in the standard release small batch.
You've got some fucking rabbit hole whiskey knowledge here. This is
deep. You've gone deep down the hole. So getting into all the mash bills that go into this.
Well, that's the coolest part about Four Roses, and we all know that.
Well,
I mean,
we've
geeked out about that shit 1,000 times. Yeah, and I love those guys, and I know quite a bit about them.
Well, we're huge
reasons.
fans, and even before we get into what we're going to say about this one, we are going to be headed down to Kentucky to Four Roses in March to pick a barrel. So,
Oh snap!
Four
It'll probably be
Roses
some
barrel.
old OESK. No, I'm just kidding.
So if we can get the 16-year, I'm all over it.
so yeah, we're looking forward to it, and we're
And
going
we
to be bringing that to you
we're hoping
guys.
that one of these gentlemen will join us for a podcast while we're down there. Maybe Brent or maybe Al, and yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we're gonna have
Definitely
that
looking forward
in
to that.
store for you guys. Probably talking about it in March and bringing you the actual juice in May or June or something.
We're gonna have to like periscope our whole Bluegrass Highway excursion.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna have like Jeff Roth's pale Jewish ass hanging out the window of an RV.
I love it. I might have to do some podcasts from a car.
Hell
actually.
yeah! It's gonna be a road trip, baby.
Yeehaw! All right, so thoughts?
So yeah, let's get into it. All right, Brent, let's see what you got.
I'm a fan of these Four Roses small batch single barrels.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love this stuff.
I am too. So far today, last year, 2015 was amazing. It was flowery and beautiful and caramely and delicious.
2012 was like the apex of whiskey.
See, I've still never had it.
Incredible. And that and the Parker's 27 are in my top
What's
5.
the 2012? Was that
It's just the small
one?
limited edition
Right.
small batch.
I've heard
but
of-
that year they did like it was like I don't even remember like 17 year in this. I don't know. They had a lot of old shit in
Yeah,
there.
it was. It was really.
And it was just epic. And then it was very close to the 125th, which I know you've had.
The
125th
is
is
the shit.
amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and that was like I think the 125th was like 3 of the same batches, just 1 year older, and then a slightly different mix.
Right.
And
The
then maybe
125th
one
was like our staple beverage at my bachelor party weekend.
yes. So
Even when
we took
overseas.
Ben to Amsterdam to not smoke weed or go to the red light district at all for his.
You went to
bachelor
buy Four
party.
Roses.
And we went to this liquor store there that a buddy had turned me on to, and I look at the shelf and there's like 7 125th anniversaries, and they're marked at 25 euros a piece.
Oh shit.
And I being the mensch that I am, I like say to the Dutch guy, I'm like, I don't think you know what this is. Like you have this marked as if it's just the small batch, but this is the limited edition one, and it's probably a mistake. And he was just like, he totally blew me off.
like,
He was
whatever.
like, stupid American tourist, and I was like, okay, and I just took all of them.
we were on bicycles.
We had to bungee cord them to our bicycles.
to the backs of these bikes. Carried
much did
away
you
everything
buy?
we could get.
All 7 of them.
Everything they had.
And I didn't get one.
And then Steve was like, "Can I go down in your storeroom and look around?" I was like, "Okay." And I took him down there. He found all kinds of little.
Found some other
sweetnesses.
treasures down there. Yeah. The only problem was we couldn't fit them all on the bikes.
Yeah, if we had a car, it would have been
Damn
all
you,
over.
Dutch people, for not having
next time I'm
trunks.
totally getting one of those canal jumper boats so I can just ship everything.
just go out to sea right from the store.
Hey, or
Good
you can
times.
invite me and you'll have 3 bikes.
Sweet. We'll just
All right,
make
well, let's
you-
move
make
on.
you-
Not bitter or anything.
This is nice. This is tasty.
Yeah.
I don't hear a lot of enthusiasm out of your voice, buddy.
It's very sweet. Maybe that's the high corn profile thing. It doesn't have the richness and spice that some of the previous ones have had, but it's super nice.
I think it's still got quite a bit of spice. Don't forget, their high corn recipe is still really like quite high in rye.
Spice is a little more on the back end. Like I feel like it comes.
I wouldn't. Yeah, a little bit in the finish maybe, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't
So-
call it a spicy.
This is what I'll say. This is always like the one of the ones that I really look forward to every year. I just love it. It's a beautiful bottle. Like I love the guys at Four Roses. I had the chance of trying this numerous times in the fall when it was just released down south. So I had it about 4 different times. I honestly did not enjoy it either of those 4 times. It was good, but it was a little lackluster. It was out of whack. It was a little bit too woody. I didn't like the strange chemicaliness that was coming from the OESK that was chosen, I think, because that's what I got a lot from the Elliott Select this year. But Mr. Elliott has a history in chemistry. That's what he studied. And he used to work in quality control for Four Roses. Something happened over these last couple months where I had this bottle open, and it has come together. I have to admit, I'm happy to have seen how this has evolved, and I want to see how it's going to keep evolving. So I think for the sake of the fact that this might be a really cool whiskey to see how it goes down the road, I think it's worth picking up, and I think it's having, and I think it was worth some of the hype. I think you have to give it a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm giving it a that's my review.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like, crawl the four corners of the globe to find it.
No.
I wouldn't pay $300-400 for it. But
I'd rather have a couple good store picks. To be honest, I've gotten more exciting flavors out of like single barrel store picks.
What's your verdict,
Sure.
Ben?
I think if you can find it at a reasonable rate, and it's something that you're into, and you're a fan of Four Roses, it's great. There's nothing wrong with this. I don't think it's something that I would go out of my way to acquire.
Yeah, if you love Four Roses, get it.
So I think this falls. It's not hype for sure. They always do this well, and this is certainly like a good example of this line. But I wouldn't call it like on the super end of hot. Like I wouldn't go running chasing after this.
Right.
But it ain't hype either. So this to me falls somewhere in the middle. I'm not going to pass judgment one way or another.
If you come across one at a fair price, pick it up, see what you like. But I wouldn't break your back trying to find it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. This last
Our
whiskey
final
is the epitome of hype this year.
Yep.
Won every award. Everyone's talking about it. The must-have whiskey of 2016, the Booker's Rye.
The Booker's Rye.
and the only rye in our lineup.
The only rye in our lineup. And by the way, just so everyone knows, we weren't like saving this for like the grand finale. We went up in proof for all this. So we started with the lightest proof to highest proof. And let's just say this is a fucking monster.
This is close to hazmat, 68.1%.
Right on the border of hazmat.
13 years, 1 month and 12 days. That you can really taste that 12th day.
Yeah.
136.2 proof.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
So
Booker's
small.
Rye.
So we got a small
Big
batch.
time
right?
batch.
Big time batch.
Bottle
Only one
number
batch.
4150.
There's a lot of blathering and slathering about this bottle, though. This is
Oh my
one of
God,
the
yeah.
most hyped things
It's
that I've heard of in a long time.
Everything I've read, this is one whiskey of the
the
year.
PR
Every
machine was
single
in
one.
high gear
The
for
PR,
this
I mean,
guy.
that's because the price. So when this whiskey started out, everyone was like, "Oh my, $300 for a what? That's crazy. I'll buy it though."
Right.
Obviously they were gonna fucking get it sold out immediately. Like,
Hey, yeah.
I mean, we talk about rye shortages all the time.
There is
on this
It's-
podcast.
It's
And,
a reality.
There's not really good aged rye on the market right now. It's just it's harder and harder to find.
Saw an opportunity.
What other 13-year-old ryes are there on the market right now? Van Winkle Family Reserve
Right,
is like the
right.
only thing that comes by. Like, so this is directly competing with
For
that.
Kentucky rye. I mean,
Same
you can get like Canadian rye.
Yeah.
I agree.
We're definitely in that camp on the Canadian side. We're like,
Yeah.
you can drink Crown Royal if you want to.
You can leave your friends behind because that's where they'll be if you drink Canadian whiskey.
They ain't no friends of mine.
No, but this was really cool. I haven't had this yet either, and I cannot believe that I've been patiently having it 2 inches away
Eyeing
from me,
it.
and I haven't even smelled it.
Well,
yet.
here we go, folks. I've
like,
never
I'm
had
gonna-
it
I'm
either.
gonna
I
go
think
for it.
I think Steve has had this.
I have had this before.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what made you want to buy a bottle. You flipped over this stuff, didn't you?
I mean, it's got some fucking cepage. You know what I'm saying?
No, it doesn't. Wrong use of the word, guys. Did you have a brown mark across
Deep cepage.
how to use this sentence?
Deep cepage.
What I love about this fucker is the cepage.
It's a great example of what I call cepage.
Guys, I'm going through some serious emotional abuse here.
Nah.
So if you're home listening to this and you feel bad for me, really you shouldn't, because I have Booker's Rye in my glass and you probably don't.
All right. Well, here we go.
This is
let's
a
give this
badass
a whirl.
fucking rye, in my opinion. It kicks ass.
It's very
I mean,
tasty.
Almost 140 proof, smooth as a baby's ass. For that,
It is amazing at the heat that's in this.
Hell yeah.
It just rolls down your throat.
Oh shit! Fucking A, that's hot.
Really? It doesn't get me that bad. at
Oh,
all.
fuck off! It's 140 proof almost.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's
for
hot.
140 proof.
Yeah, it's great for 140 proof, but it's still 140 proof.
And I got my nose right in this thing.
Yeah.
It's strangely gentle for this level of heat.
I'm not saying that it's not good and that it's not warming you up a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it is seriously. There's stuff that's harsher out there, but this is like it's very intense though.
I really wanted
It's
to not
intense,
like this.
intensely flavorful too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just intense on the heat. It's got a lot of spice, a lot of like awesome ryness to this. Like,
It is.
They really did a great job. Like this is what you want.
Quintessential rye whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what you're looking for.
I really wanted to not like it because, $300 MSRP, like more likely you're going to pay 500,
They're selling for
600 for it.
$700 right now.
$700 for it. That's crazy. I'm not saying you should go
800,
pay $700, but
But if you can get it for close to the list,
it is fucking badass. So good.
I don't know, man. I might be disagreeing on this one with you a
Really?
little bit.
All right.
I don't know. I think I got to
that
try
minty
this.
spice that I just love in a rye. Like it has that.
Yeah, it's there a little bit. I mean, I get a little
Do you
bit
want to
more
like
delicious
sapage it with a little
caramelly.
water so that you
I mean, I'm
know?
going to throw a couple drops in there to see if it opens up a little bit. But
Yeah, of course.
no, time out. Hold on. Time out.
Water goes well with a good sapage.
And a
it
mini
does.
skirt.
That's fine, man.
Oh.
I've got my new like
Come on.
fiber rich underwear on that I don't need to wear a pad anymore. It just soaks it all up. And what it's not soaking up is how
Whoa.
absolutely. I mean, this is intense, dude. The flavors are intense as well, but the
Yeah.
alcohol is really fucking distracting. I know, but that's Booker's, and I love Booker's for that. I'm not gonna lie.
For me, this is like a quintessential sort of beast. If we talk about what we like in terms of what a beast is, this comes in full beast mode. Like
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this is
This is
an awesome beast of a rye.
textbook.
It is a
beast.
beast, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll put it this way: if you spend the money on this, you're certainly not going to be like, "Well, I wish there was more whiskey in this bottle." right. Holy shit!
Yeah.
There's a lot
It's a
going
big
on.
bad
in this
boy.
bottle. It's big, man. I'll tell you what. This is not an every night kind of thing. Like this is something.
Not necessarily
drink this
not
every
an
night.
everyday thing. I mean, it depends what your nights are like. But if you have to buy it on the secondary market, I don't know if I could say go spend $700+ on this. But I don't know if it was for a special occasion or something, or you were doing a cool lineup of ryes, and you had sort of a special event or reason to just kind of spend lavishly on some examples. I wouldn't say don't include this. Like,
Well,
this
and
is
if you're a collector-
this is a really cool example, especially from Booker's. Like it's kind of wasn't expected, and I think for that reason it makes it a little cooler.
So is this going to come back next year, double the price?
Oh man. Booker's announces they're raising the price of Booker's Rye to $1,000 a bottle. Just kidding. Oh, well, over 5 years.
Wow.
I don't know.
right.
Whatever. My verdict is I like it. The flavors are immense. It's really good. It needs a little bit of water. It's a little bit out of whack by itself, but that's just me, and everybody can
I
make
was
fun of me all
really
you want.
hoping to just shit on this one and say it's all hype and, Jim Murray and the Wine and Spirits magazine, like every award that it won, and they are all just full of shit. But I dig it, man. It's fucking badass.
I don't
think
know.
It's great. I'm really into it, and I don't know if anything's worth $700 or $800, but I've definitely tasted stuff selling for that's a lot worse than this. So
For sure.
Excuse
me, for sure. Yeah, it's not unwarranted in today's market by any stretch.
I'm calling this a hot bottle.
Well, so all right, hold on, time out. Let's go. So for 300 to 400, which is the MSRP for this,
Smoking hot.
you'd buy it in a heartbeat again.
Yes.
I didn't actually pay that much for it. I acquired this bottle illicitly by stealing it from a warehouse in the middle of the night with a ski mask on.
Would you pay $300 for it?
Yes.
Grudgingly
pay-
or
I would-
or gladly? Grudgingly or gladly?
I would pay $300 for one more bottle to put on the shelf, so
See,
I can
and-
slowly drink this one and have one in one.
One in reserve.
You were singing its praises. You love this shit.
And look, if it was $150, which is still a fucking lot for a
Total.
bottle of
I'd
whiskey,
buy that for $150. No
I
problem.
would buy cases of it.
Sure. Okay, but $300 is a lot for this.
It
now,
is a
in
lot.
New York, this was selling for $400. That was retail for this. New
Okay.
York market was higher.
Yeah.
Good luck finding it anymore.
Right.
It's been out for a few months
It's
now.
gone.
It's gone. It is now selling for $700 to $800 a bottle. Would you buy it for $700 a bottle?
I'm already regretting opening it for you fuckers.
It's like, you mean I could get $800 for this? God damn, you fucked up. What
no,
can you do?
absolutely not. But
Ben?
but I also wouldn't buy Pappy 20 year for $1,000 or
We're not talking about $1,000.
William Llewellyn for no. I'm just saying there's a lot of whiskey that I wouldn't buy at the second market price.
Yep.
But if somebody was like, look, I really want to buy a badass bottle of whiskey from this year, and what should I go out and I want to blow some money, what should I go out and buy? I'd be like, you can't go wrong with this. Like,
if you find that at retail price.
No, even not. Even like on like for $600 or something like that. I mean, if
For
you
rye,
want to
for
go
what it
spend that
is,
money
yeah.
and your options are like, Pappy or George T. Stagg or this, I think it's a good bet. I think it's pretty fucking badass.
Okay. So
All right,
should we like pick a bottle?
Let's
do a
wrap,
little wrap up.
let's wrap it up. Ben, give it. You got 5 bottles here. Give it a hot or hype.
I'm gonna give
for
it.
each
Well,
one.
obviously, I think we all, or you and I at least, Steve, agreed. The old Forester, I'm giving it the hype.
At $200, hype.
Yeah, at the price,
Right.
it's not a bad dram. I think definitely the value play is the Rebel Yell 10-year. Awesome for the price.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, weeded bourbon, $50, single barrel. Can't fuck around.
Super
can't go
good.
wrong.
Yeah.
Get it if you can find it. Obviously, for me, Parker's 24, a rare treat. If you can get your hands on it, you can't go wrong. If you can afford it, get it. Don't fuck around. The Four Roses, it's definitely good. Like I said before, wouldn't go out of my way. But if you can get your hands on it and not pay too dearly, if you love Four Roses, it'll be great for you. And the Booker's really impressed the hell out of me, and it surprised me. I was sort of similarly wanting to hate it, but I was shocked.
I have to. They're all really good whiskeys. I liked them all in their own respective way. Old Forester, if you can find it for MSRP, get it. If you can't, buy the Whiskey Row. It's better and it's cheaper. The Rebel Yell, insane value. Like really, really good to get a 10-year weeder single barrel. I cannot believe that Luxco finally nutted up and put this out.
Clear the shelves.
Great,
Dude. It's a clear
go,
the shelves
go,
situation.
Go buy it. It's really good. It's really fun. The Parkers, stellar. Blew me away. I mean, just absolutely brilliant. I can't say more about it. I really love it. I think it's a very well put together whiskey. I am usually someone that enjoys whiskey at a younger age. Usually like 8 to 12 years is my preference. I think that's where it loves to be with a new barrel. I'm always so blown away when people can pull off an old bourbon or rye. And that was just fucking knockout. So absolutely worth the hype. The Four Roses, like I said, one of those bottles you buy, you might not like it at first, but it will grow on you.
Let it sit.
Let it sit. It's good.
Give it a little air.
I think it's worth the money if you get it for MSRP. I don't think it's worth the secondary money. Let it sit. You will enjoy seeing the evolution of this whiskey. The Booker's, gosh, I like it a lot. It's really good. I wouldn't spend the money on it personally.
I'm glad one
for
of
me,
us doesn't
For me,
like
I
it.
think the Booker's is. For me, I think the Booker's rye is hype.
So I'm gonna go total hype on the Old Forester because I used to collect these and now couldn't even find this bottle, and I saw it once for $250 and fuck that. Rebel Yell, great deal. Totally, I think we're all on the same page. Buy that one. The Parkers. So I think I have to say for the Parkers, I could see how a lot of people could say this whiskey was past its prime. It went a little sour. It's very woody. I really like old whiskey, and I think I really do appreciate this bottle. But I think if you don't know old whiskey, I don't know if I would tell people to go out and buy this one because it's very particular. It's a real treat. You have to kind of appreciate that you're almost kind of drinking a piece of history on this one. For somebody who's like, I just want the best tasting thing and I want to spend a lot of money, this would not be the one that I would tell them to buy because it's more about experiencing this profile that you don't really taste anymore. This is not an everyday, for me. Very special though, and I appreciate it. I'm really glad to own the bottle. Four Roses I think is cool. I'm more of a high rye fan. I think that might just be personal taste. So I kind of appreciated more of the high rye stuff, but I think it's pretty good. And Booker's I thought was super hot. So I'm begrudgingly really digging the overhyped and expensive Booker's. So all right. There we go.
It's a beast, and we like the beast.
It really
so
is.
it's a really good beast example. If you're saying like, what is a beast? This is a beast.
It is a beast. It is a fucking beast.
Awesome. Well, yeah, Steve, thanks for busting that out for us.
Yeah,
It is a real treat.
Absolutely.
thank you all.
Thanks, Jake, for joining us. Everybody,
absolutely.
vote Whiskey Warrior on American Ninja Warrior. Yeah,
I wish you could vote for me. There's nothing you can do.
No voting.
If you're a producer on American Ninja Warrior and you're listening to this, just
must
review
get
my
on the
run
show.
from last year, please, and see that I'm worthy.
But if you're in New York, if you're in Brooklyn in the Prospect Heights area,
Yeah.
Vanderbilt
Come on,
Wine
check out
Merchants, go see Jake at the store. Go stop in there.
Yeah,
they're,
if you want
they're
to do
great
private
people.
events, man, I love doing private events with people and having a good time and teaching
I
about
think what are
whiskey.
you, Jake Cahill 13 on the Instagram. What's your
Jake Cahill 13.
All right, and
if there's still tickets left at the time of airing, we got about 10 seats left to our Westland event. On
if you'd
January
like to join
27th.
us at Norwood Club, you can
Um,
still grab a ticket on beastmastersclub.com.
Be releasing tickets for the Weeded event in
Soon.
February pretty soon. So grab a ticket to that and just go to Dave's place out there in Brooklyn. It's awesome.
And we have some badass things coming up for you guys this year. Definitely, we've been feeling your love. We've gotten a lot of cool fan mail and support over the last few weeks since our last podcast. And for all of you that have written in, thank you so much. We're definitely going to do some mailbag stuff in the coming episodes, so you'll all be sort of addressed and recognized. But we really love to hear from you. So if you're out there and you have a question or you want some recos or whatever we can do for you, like, we're readily accessible. Just reach out. There's lots of ways to get in touch with us on the website.
Yeah, and don't forget to sign up for the club so you get all the updates and everything.
Exactly. All right. Well,
All right.
we love you guys. Thanks a
Cheers.
lot. Once again, bye-bye.
Later.
Adios.
Cipage.
Word of the night.
Cepage.